And welcome to another episode of the In 90 Minutes podcast. Happy 3 Point Monday. 3 points to somebody, not necessarily our first team, but it was 3 points at some point, nevertheless. Thank you all for joining us. As always, thank you for supporting the show. And let's just get down to it because we have a lot going on. There's a lot that's been talked about. There's a lot that's happened since last we met. So, everybody doing well, I hope. Gentlemen, Luke, David, John, everybody having a
Doing
good
great.
Monday?
We obviously saw each other
Yes.
minus Misael yesterday,
Yes,
and
Michelle.
we
Yes.
had the opportunity to talk to a lot of fans, our good friend David, and it was a great night. Found out about the Christmas story. Obviously, we're gonna talk about that midway through the game. Witness Orlando City be come back from a 4-1 deficit to tie it and then win the extra point on the shootout. Um, a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Obviously, it was great to see you guys.
Yeah,
Yes, it was
great to
definitely
see
an
finally a
exciting
good
time.
football match live for the first time in a very long time.
This is going to be fun today. So, where do we begin, gentlemen? Should we start at the very bottom and work our way to the good news? So, should we start at,
Let's do
what
it.
was it,
Let's end
Saturday?
it on yeah. Let's
Yeah.
try to end it on a positive
Yeah,
note.
let's start with Saturday. So, this past Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, right, the boys went all the way to Nashville. Game time, I don't remember what time it was because I was in the car. I think it was like 6:30.
Yeah,
Six
6:30.
fifteen, or yeah,
6:15.
6:30,
15,
six
yeah.
fifteen, something like that.
You know. And I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm gonna say none of us were surprised that we did not walk away with the 3 points. For the last couple of weeks, we've said for the most part there was only one game for us that was somewhat close to winnable, and that was the one we had against Montreal. The rest are going to be an uphill battle, so I don't think it was any shock to us that the result. I think what might have been a shock is how we played. I mean, let's get into it. So, what did you all think about that Saturday in Nashville?
I'll kick it off. Defensively, it was atrocious. Obviously, it was. I will say the one. If you want to take a positive, if you can't take any positives after losing by 5, is we did look a little bit better on the attack than we did against our last 5-0 loss against New York. We at least had chances, several true chances to score that
At
we
least we
should
had
have
a shot
scored.
on target.
Yeah. So, but defensively, it's a wreck. We're playing a 19-year-old who was his third start in the league, which honestly, I thought Iago played okay. Um, and then we're starting a draft pick right beside him, which I don't understand how. I saw it on X. The guy was talking about it. I forget who it was, David. If you remember the account that was talking about our academy and everything.
Well, yeah, I remember. I can't remember the name, but it was somebody criticizing
I
the
think it's
fact that
USMNT Prospects, is I think who it
yes,
was.
correct.
Yes.
Is that
That's
who it was?
yes.
And he made a great point. Is how is a college draft pick who's 2 years older than Thomas Williams getting playing time on Orlando City, but then Thomas, who's with Nashville now, and I told everybody listening, I'm not. It's going to take me a while to get over this, not just on a personal level, because I
You're not the
really
only one.
rated Thomas very highly. Thomas just got called in for the U23s. Nolan Miller did not. That's all you have to say. We have a
But
player on
the
our
thing
team
is,
that's a
right,
center back now. What?
the thing is, right, is it clearly like on the pitch and whatever is it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense to us. There must have been something off the pitch that happened between Thomas Williams and the coaching staff.
Oh, absolutely.
He must have fell out of favor. He must have not been a figure that was likable. You know, we only see them for 7, 8 seconds, right? Come up to him and whatever. leave and whatever. We don't. I am not saying Thomas Williams is a bad guy, right? But maybe as a professional, he might not be under Pereira himself. Might have not been the best guy for him. Might have been probably a challenging figure. You
Right.
know, didn't do the things that he wanted to do. So I'm not saying that Thomas Williams was a bad player, but you know, if you're an employee, you have to you have to play for your manager, or you have to perform for your manager, or you will not play.
I have some info
You
on
know,
that.
it's like if you go to work, you know, you have to change your performance style to simply to simply get like good marks, get a raise, get a promotion, whatever like that. You know, it might not be what you want to do, but you have to do what you have to do to get into a higher position.
Well, on that situation, like you said, we don't know anything. We spend a lot of time. John and I spent a lot of time. We interacted with his family, awesome people. I always thought of Thomas as this young kid that's trying to figure things out, and knowing his family, the few times that I interacted with him, he seemed like a very down to earth person. We were told from a source that was anonymous that one of the main reasons why this was happening was because of a managerial choice of not playing the kids. Oscar Pareja was dismissed, among other things, because the club had a vision of we're gonna spend money in the academy. By the way, the academy costs millions of dollars. I did not know this. And the idea is let's grow our own talent, win trophies, and then sell them like every other club in the world. The problem was if we are developing this talent that makes it to OCB and we're not playing them on the first team, who are we developing this talent for? And unfortunately, Thomas Williams, Wilfredo Rivera, Moises Tablante, and a bunch of other names that right now escape my mind were victims of philosophy that killed us as an institution. I have said before, guys have heard me say that our issues are systematic. And we got to see that at the OCB game, and I apologize for the background noise, and I don't want to go on a tangent, but I think it's critical on this. We saw in the OCB game how, like you said, Luke. By the way, we gotta give Luke his just desserts because the man has been calling it for a long time that um, we cannot move forward unless we basically cleanse ourselves from the philosophy of the old coaching staff. And we saw that in Nashville, and I would like to talk about that as well. So we got to see that, but we got to see an OCB that where the players were given the freedom of being themselves, and next thing you know, they managed to do what the first team can do: come back from adversity. And while technically they didn't win the game, but they earned the extra point, and they destroyed Miami. And had we had 10 more minutes, probably we would have won the game.
But you know
Well,
what?
David, before you get much further, and I was talking to Luke about it too. The thing about that with the academy is, yeah, those boys were, a lot of them have been a year, a season plus in Poppy's system once they got out of the academy. And I know the academy had some touches of Poppy, what Poppy wanted to do in it. But a lot of those guys on OCB that played last night didn't have Poppy. Most of the guys getting back on track to the senior team. Most of the guys on the senior team have been with Poppy for at least 2+ seasons, at least. Most of them longer. Think about when we got Angulo. Think about when we got Janssen. Think about Ojeda. Think about Duncan. The core of our team, the guys that have been there longer. Janssen, who's injured, but still Janssen, Brecalo, all those guys. Cartagena, who's injured, but all those guys have that ingrained in them, And one of our buddies that me and Luke were sitting next to made a good point. It takes 7 days without a match, 7 days of training without a match, a week of training without a match, to get rid of those bad habits. That a lot of our starting 11 has, or what should be, what eventually, once we're through the injuries and everything, what most of our starting 11 will be is guys that were with Poppy. They need all this time in training with a new manager, whether it's Perelman or the interim, or when we bring in somebody new, to get rid of these bad habits. And there's a reason Poppy kept all these guys. They played the way he wanted them to, and if they agree with that system, it's going to take a lot to break that. It's going to take more than a week plus 3 days of training to break those habits. Now, Luke and I said last week on extra time that about the positives we saw, what we saw in the win, that one of the biggest changes was how the back line was playing higher up. They were playing higher up on Saturday as well, but Nashville, because of the quality they have in their attack, was
Yeah.
able to take advantage of our inexperience and lack of quality at center back.
Yeah, when you've got a class of a striker, Sam Surridge. Sorry, I'm not saying that because he's English. He's just a really good striker. Let's just admit it. You're gonna have to play against him in a way that is tactically. You can't go out there play your style of play at home, away from home. You're gonna have to man mark that guy, box to box midfield player. Whatever, like man on man, man on man. Never leaving him a sniff of anything because he will find a goal. Well, he scored a hat trick, so he did. He found three. So you give him too much space, you give him too much respect, you show him too much time on the ball, he will punish you, and he did. You know, he's
Absolutely, I have to agree with that. One of the things that I took out of the game is, and we have to give our opponent credit when credit is due. They had Gary Smith, a manager that was set on his ways, and when the league started moving away from the success of that system, and by the way, I have said it before, Gary Smith managed Stevenage, and I watched the game in Open Cup against them with friends from Stevenage, who told me exactly what Gary Smith was going to do. And it happened exactly like they were saying, which tells me that if fans can learn the bad habits of managers and identify them before anybody else. So they got rid of him. They went through the pain. They transitioned with I believe BJ Callahan, right? That's
BJ Callahan, the guy that
yeah.
probably should have been, had a strong case to be the national team coach because of how they looked under him.
Right. He impressed me because he took a team that was in decline and they turned them into winners right away. This is a team that went to war last Wednesday in Miami, and I felt that while I knew that we were gonna lose that game in our condition, I felt that it should have been a closer game. I felt that we should have scored. I also felt that that we could have gone a result out of the game based on the fact that all their stellar players played almost 90 minutes, if not 90. And we go out there and we look disoriented. We concede a boneheaded penalty, and we were just not up to snuff. We are rudderless right now, and not to make excuses for everything, but we're just not a good team. Now, do you bring a star like Griezmann
Oh,
and he comes with a manager? Uh, we have heard the rumors that he's handpicking the manager. There's the reason why he's coming. We don't
Zidane.
know. We don't know who it is, but if we get a good competitive manager that plays attacking football with a start of that caliber and another couple of other players, maybe we can turn it around. And I'd like to read this real quick because this is some of the reasons that a friend of ours was told that Oscar had to go. First of all, internally we have to change the culture of the club. Okay, these are key points. The ownership needs to understand what football is all about, and that this is not the NFL. We have said that many times here on the show. Also, that we need to bring players that are hungry. The homegrowers have to play, and we have to attract global superstars, and that's exactly what's happening. Before this game or after this game, people are saying the owners have to sell the team, and Ricardo has to be fired. It's outrageous things out of people that are just frustrated. So I'm just gonna ignore it. But the reality is, at the end of the day, is that in Nashville, you saw a team that was drilled, ready for a championship, and a team that was not. And that's not going to happen overnight, especially when we are going out there with a caretaker manager. And nothing against Martin Perelman. I think he's a fine fella. But the reality is that if Oscar was not the manager to take us to the promised land, Martin is not.
And the fact of the matter, and you say you choose not to acknowledge it. There were so many out there I saw on the different groups and stuff on Facebook and all over X, basically saying for all those people that wanted Poppy to be fired, is this what you wanted? Or who, either is this what you wanted, or who do you blame now? And I still blame, like we were saying before, still blame Poppy for all this. You
Yeah.
know, my dad, I didn't pull the comment up because it didn't make sense. I had to
Yeah, let's
text
go ahead
him.
and read those comments,
But
brother.
I'll bring his comment up. We'll get to the comments after I say what I'm going to say. But he said any coach could see last year he was supposed to say we needed defenders, but did nothing to get younger players experience. Is exactly what we were talking about. And
Absolutely, man.
we heard the show. I heard it from a couple people. David heard it from at least one person, that the reason that a certain player that we know wasn't getting the playing time was as made one of Poppy's favorites look bad. You know, a player that we could have used this year that's no longer on the team, that's a young player, wasn't getting playing time because he made one of Poppy's favorites look bad. If that's not the most unprofessional thing, Luke was saying, maybe it was this, that, the other. That's what we were told the reasoning was. I looked at it to verify the number's been disconnected that I got it from. The account that I got it from has been taken offline. So I feel like I can say that now. So this whole mess we're in is Poppy's fault and Moosey's fault. We've had the same basic roster for 3 seasons. Since 2023, outside of a couple players, we've had the same roster until through last year. All of those guys, a lot of those guys' contracts expired at the same time. Ricardo was given such a tall task with what he was left with, a manager he probably didn't necessarily want, a bunch of contracts expiring, players not wanting to continue here for whatever reason, that wouldn't sign extensions, wouldn't renew their contracts. This is what you get when you get the same manager, and this is why 2-3 years ago we were talking about when we started the season off badly. This is what we saw it getting to. Luckily, in 23 and 24, we had the surplus on the back end, off the bench, and guys that were newer guys that Poppy wasn't really comfortable with starting yet, that we could plug and play where they needed to be. I mean, think about, was it 24, 23 when they had Facundo playing wingback?
I think it was something like that.
Yeah. So, we didn't have that coming into this year. We didn't have that surplus of players coming into this year because of what Moosey and Poppy had built, basically, had created.
And this is the problem, right? Is you lot said it's like a coaching problem. David, did you say that? Sorry, I was going to go. You said like a few minutes back it was like a coaching problem. It's an institutional problem. Our whole institution of top to bottom, which is the institution of Orlando City, is rotten. I'm feeling the same way we did when we had that Nicky Budulich in. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like that's the season we're going to have. When it's just rotten to the core, except minus, we're still not there yet, except minus the off-field antics that happened, because there was a lot of off-field antics that happened back then. That's the way it's feeling. It's feeling like 2017 all over again, where it wasn't it wasn't just the team, it was the institution that was instilled. And it's just rotten to the core. It's rotten. It's dying. And people...
I agree with that.
What?
I agree with that, Luke. But I agree with you. We lived in, so your feelings are valid. Like I want to go back to the fact that we all went to the friendly for the preseason friendly, and we left feeling like it was 2018 again, all over. And people jump on us, are like, "Oh, it's preseason. They always act this way. It's always slow, blah blah blah." And by the time Oscar was fired, we were like, "We told you, we told you that this was gonna happen." The one thing I feel that is different from Nicky Budulich, who went on to go down to Miami. I don't know if he's still there, but he also created a disaster for that team.
Yeah.
Is that I feel that Ricardo is a different GM, is somebody that at least to me has said all the right things about where we need to be. Will that apply to this season? Jury's still out on that. Can
Now,
we
I know
save this season?
Now, I know you lot are friends with Ricardo, right? David, I know you are as well. And like, I have no affiliation to Ricardo. I think he's a nice guy, right? Do I think that him and his relationship with Pereira is affecting this team still currently to this moment? Yes, that's how much I think Pereira had an impact on this team. Is that even the general manager of this club, the director of football of this club, is still being affected by him. And this is just my feeling. Do not quote me on this. Pereira, it's nothing personal if you're watching this. I think you should go. I think he should go. Because it's in everything. We need something new. It's driving people insane. And if it means that a really nice guy has to go, so be it. I think drastic measures has drastic change. And we need drastic change. And I don't think Moreira is a bad guy. I think he has the great thing at heart, right? But he's been infected by him, that man that we've been complaining about for so long. His style of play is volatile.
I get what you're saying, Luke. And my one thing about Ricardo, I don't have a relationship with him other than seeing what he does with the club. And what jobs that he's allegedly been offered and turned down. I mean, he turned down the GM job of what was it, DC United,
Yeah.
I believe, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Turned down some
Bournemouth.
position.
I can never say it correctly. Bournemouth? How do you say it?
Bournemouth. Yeah, he
Bournemouth.
turned down a position from Bournemouth.
Oh, Bournemouth. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think it was Grêmio in Brazil.
yeah. So he cares about this club. I would rather. I think he was handcuffed. I really feel, and have understood from different people, that he was handcuffed by the ownership in the offseason. He wanted to get rid of Poppy at the end of the year, before the season started, before the
He
preseason.
should have been gone after we lost the
But he wasn't allowed to because they had to get rid of Muriel, something that Poppy created.
Yeah.
I really think that, Ricardo knows what needs to be done, knew what needed to be done in the offseason, and was really handcuffed
The ownership.
by the
Yes.
ownership.
But we all
And then the
know.
ownership kind of saw the way the season began, saw the way the fans were reacting, saw kind of what was going on with like season tickets and stuff, and went, well, I guess Ricardo was right. And now they've kind of taken the reins off and said,
correct.
do what you need to do, Ricardo.
But we all know,
And, you know,
right? We
there's several people, several sources that we wouldn't even know their names, by the way. These are usually are just people that remain anonymous. They have said that one of the main problems is ownership not understanding the football culture,
Yeah.
what needs to happen to win. And this has been a battle between employees at different levels with division of ownership. And I'm glad that people understand that. And I have heard that the club is taking steps towards meeting us halfway. I mean, the fact that the OCB game was taken to the main stadium, the fact that merch
He
was
got his jersey.
right, exactly. There's a lot of things that we have said on the show that trickles down, and it has happened, and I'm very happy for that. But at the end of the day, we want to see wins, and I personally think that the fat lady's not singing. MLS is one of those weird leagues where if we get hot at the end, we can sneak into the playoffs. Do I believe that we have enough to win it? I don't know. I don't know. Griezmann is coming for. It's reported that he's coming for 2 years. We don't know who the manager is gonna be. We don't know what other players we're gonna be able to bring down with in the summer window. So there's a lot going on. Is it frustrating that we allowed so much time to go by? Because digress back to Nashville. Nashville understood that Gary Smith was not the future. They cut ties. They allowed a new manager to take over, and look at him now. And not for nothing, they struck gold with the striker they signed from San Jose. I can't remember his name. He's a Spanish guy, the guy that scored the first goal of the game. If you guys can come up with that name, I'll appreciate that. But Nashville has a similar story like us. They are just another southern boom town, that benefited from the new South economy. They are also a team that came from the USL league, and size-wise, we're very similar. So
Did you say San Jose striker?
yeah, I believe he came from San Jose. He was a free agent. Nashville signed him, and the guy has been like dynamite for them.
Hold on, I'll find.
It's the guy that scored the first goal at the game.
Espinosa's his name.
Oh, Espinoza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot I muted my mic when I got up.
Yeah, Espinoza. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I remember him. He was a good player. Is he also? I think he.
And I mean, the thing is, too, is people are sitting here, when last year, when we were saying how, the last 2 years, really, 3 years, we've been saying how bad it is that we give up 1 and 2 goal leads to drop points. Look at Nashville on Saturday. That's a winning mentality they had. They got up 2 goals, they didn't stop. They got up 3 goals, they didn't stop. They got up 4 goals, they didn't stop. They got up 5 goals, and they didn't stop. Yes, they sat back a little bit, didn't press as hard, but they still were pushing for goals late into that game.
Goal differential matters.
But
Goal
yeah,
differential matters.
it's just our whole approach. It's really just our whole approach. And I think right now, People are freaking out. The people that are freaking out because of the roster changes. They're freaking out because we lost 3 games. But I feel like we're just starting to realize how bad things are. And that's what people aren't ready to handle,
But
right?
it's too late, Ahmed.
Well, no, I know it's been late. It's been like it's been like that. What I'm saying is for us, it's been obvious. For most people, it's not that obvious, was what I'm
It's
saying, right?
worrying for football professionals that it's not obvious. Like we've won 2 games
But listen,
since August.
so I don't know if you guys saw Alonso. He posts a lot on X, right? He posted this tweet talking. It was after it was like Orlando's reality check because I'm looking at it right here, and in there he says they win when expected, but consistently fail short against stronger teams, both individually and tactically. We've been doing that for the past 4 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So that has nothing to
This is the
do
thing.
with
This
how
is
much
just the
money we
thing that
spend.
we
That has
recognize now.
nothing to do with the roster changes. That has nothing to do with all that because that's how we've been playing, right? We've always lost against the teams we should win against, and then we're like this giving team, and we fall short in those spaces. That's not something that just happened the start of this season. And if you do think it is, then you need to rewatch a lot of games and really see that that's been happening, right? It's a wake up call, yeah. And he says Orlando City isn't ready to compete at the top level right now, or last season, or the one before that, right? We just
Or
ended
any
up
of them.
where we were. We just ended up where we were, and little by little, it was declining, right? We didn't see it as fans. We were happy because again, we made the playoffs. We finished what, fourth and second, then we finished fourth, and then ninth or something like that, right? So we're still doing well, but we're doing worse and worse each year. It's like having your child in school. One year they get a 90, one year they get an 80, one year they get a 70. They're still passing, but they're still doing worse. So it's like you have to think to yourself, if I don't do something, they're gonna fail. And that's the point we're at.
But they're still holding on to that 90, aren't they?
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like there's nothing earth-shattering about this if you've been paying attention in any kind of detail. Now, if you're sitting around and saying, hey, everything's great, well, I'd like
You're
to
lying
know
to
what you've been smoking. But I don't know. Yeah.
One thing I
like-
did want to bring up, I don't know how you guys felt about it when you were watching it on TV, but when they were up 2-0, especially how quiet that stadium was. For having 27,000 people allegedly, I thought that place was an absolute, quieter. Like I said on X, quieter than a church on Sunday.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised with the guys how they were playing given the circumstances because it is hard. Like from our perspective, you want to see the guys coming out there. I didn't feel like they gave up until I would say maybe the last 20 minutes. Right? I felt like they really were trying. And I'm not going down that rabbit hole, but I'm saying their mentality I feel like was where we wanted to be because somebody posted on X, I'm sorry, on Instagram. He says prayers for Iago and Miller. I hope they don't have their confidence killed from these results because you don't want that, especially for your younger players. This is not an individual player thing. It's a systemic thing, right? So
This is an identity crisis.
yeah. So
Yeah,
anyway,
'cause we don't know who we are right now. We
Correct.
don't have a head. We don't
Correct.
have a leader.
So this is the
David,
part where you
David, you're wrong. We know who we are. This is who we are. This is our identity. We are this team. This is who we are. Right? Because we've not seen anything different. This is our identity. All the
fair
leagues. You could
assessment,
probably
yeah.
ask, we could get probably another MLS fan from any other team and say, "What's Orlando's identity?" This is our identity. This is who we are. So we do know who we are. We are the worst
I
team.
mean, we have a team with 9 internationals. Are we supposed to be this bad?
Yeah, if you play like a bad team, you're supposed to be this bad. We are that bad that we could
Let's
probably
get through some of these comments because they're piling up. I'm sure, Ahmed, they're piling up on Instagram.
Yeah. So why don't you I'll bring them up.
All right.
Here we go. So
Carlos is go ahead. Okay, I'll go. Carlos is me one. OC needs to make not getting the wooden spoon the goal for the season. Adam, your dog trainer, said good evening. The season sucks already, and we need captain back, but good news with the new acquisition coming this summer. He continues with I have one word to describe, to describe OCB and elliptical.
I'm skipping your dads because we showed them already.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Adam, you said unfortunately that I'm not sure what that was in reference to.
Yeah.
There we go. Unfortunately, that will not happen till at least the World Cup. I believe he's talking about hiring a new manager.
Yeah.
I said Espinoza had one hell of a banger shot for that first goal. We need that kind of imagination and creativity. And he said Schlegel's blocked PK was the last time I saw someone show passion. I heartily disagree with that, but it's been a good 2 years.
And then on Instagram, Joshua the Sports Boy says they should promote the B team and demote the A team.
I agree with
Talier says last night was the best day of 2026 for the Orlando City fans. I would have to
agree.
agree with that.
I'm so happy everyone's on the same page. This is great.
Then he goes on to say, "I'm getting my Griezmann jersey at the next Pride home game." He says, "I hope." He's the one who said, "I hope Miller and Iago see these results and it doesn't kill their confidence when, unfortunately, in our situation, they're all we have from our injuries." Then he says, "Because it's not their fault and they're our only options with our injury crisis." So yeah. Yeah, so if we're done with the Saturday fiasco,
We are.
let's move on to happier news. Sunday night at Inter & Co Stadium, 7 p.m. OCB took on Inter Miami 2, or is that what they're called? Inter Miami 2?
Yeah, they're in.
And I would probably say it was one of those matches that would make you say you need to go see more OCB matches. If you have not been, if you're a season ticket holder, you have those tickets available to you for free. And if you don't, I believe they're like $10 maybe?
Something
If
like
that,
$9.
$9. It was a great match. It started out a little slow, I'm not gonna lie. But that second half came around and it reminded me of what we missed in that stadium for the last few matches. It really did. Because the stadium, as you can imagine, wasn't as full as you would like. But at that last half of that game, that stadium came alive. For me, it came alive. And, for those of you who saw, Orlando City said you asked and we delivered. They were able to sell the OCB jerseys, the long anticipated OCB jerseys in the store. And I believe David got his.
Yeah, and I want to interrupt you there for a second.
Please, go ahead.
To the club, our fan base are men that have a little bit more to love, you know. And I grabbed the last extra large that was available. A lot of people were complaining that there was only 2 double XLs, and that was the biggest size. There was a ton of small and a ton of medium, and I appreciate the overconfidence that our fan base loves to exercise, but we don't. So if you could please bring larger sizes in big numbers, that would be appreciated. The cost of the jersey was $100 after the $10 discount for season ticket holders. And I have mine. Unfortunately, I can't grab it, but thank you to the club for finally providing merch that the fans wanted. But yeah, that's the only complaint, and it's not from me, it's from a lot of people. We need bigger sizes on everything. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Yep, you stole the words right out of my mouth, David.
yeah.
There isn't a shirt in that store that would fit me.
Oh my gosh.
Like I looked a little bit yesterday. I looked at the preseason match. Didn't find anything. Looked yesterday because I really like the Columbia fishing shirts, the button-up shirts.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting one. I've been wanting one for years. They had them for a little bit, then they didn't. They brought it back. Biggest size they have on Fanatics is a double XL.
Yeah.
How many guys do you see walking around on a daily basis in Central Florida wearing those that are bigger than a double XL?
Can we just stop
You know-
with the yellow though? I'm just like, seriously?
Oh yeah, I mean it wouldn't be something I wore to a match. It'd be
No, but I'm
But
just
you-
saying, like,
yeah.
Make it purple. It's yellow. Like I get the jersey, and we're not even calling it gold. It's a yellow. Like there's a whole bunch
yellow.
of yellow in there. Why? That's not part of the sunken treasure kit. I got news for you. Oh my god.
And you look around the stadium. I mean, you know, no offense to anybody, but how many guys wear an XL and smaller? Not a lot of them. Not a lot of the men.
Just take a look at the fan base, and just that's what I'm saying. Just take a look at the fan base. And you know the head of merchandising was there. Unfortunately, I can't remember her name, but I saw her at the game. So if somebody can get a hold of her, please, we need bigger sizes. I'm not talking about just myself, but there's a lot of fans on social media that were complaining about the fact that we need bigger sizes. And you know, just make them available. I mean, listen, we say it all the time. We want the club to be profitable. We want the merch to go around, and you know, what better piece of advertisement than the jersey? The jersey goes where the fans go, and I think that will be something positive. You know, that we have bigger sizes, but
And since
I
we're
was
on
gonna
that topic,
comment.
David,
Go
David,
ahead.
since we're on that topic, real quick, the jerseys themselves run about a size to a size and a half smaller. Anyway,
Right, because they're meant
even
for
when I wore
athletic
a
feet.
large or an XL, I still had like when I was wearing a large, I had to buy an XL to a double XL jersey. Like there was no,
No,
I
I
bought a large and it fit me. You know, no way I was wearing that in public.
no, and it's funny you mentioned that, John, because like for example, Maccabi Haifa's manufacturer is used to be Nike, now is Adidas, and before with the Nike, I never had a problem. I could just order my size, and I will look good with it. Now with the Adidas, I'm a little tight. Just like with Orlando City, I have to go a size over. And with Stevenage, if I got which is Macron, if I had my size, I look like a sausage, you know, like super super. I'm wearing a shopping bag for a jersey. So I understand that. You know, I can't believe that this is a topic that needs to be addressed. But yes, please for the club, we just need bigger sizes. That you
The
know.
guys online then warned us when it comes to the dark days. You never know what's going to come up in a show.
No, for sure. That's true. That's true. So, I mean, I'm sorry that I interrupted you, brother. But
No, no, no.
I sat with a well. Let's talk about the game. I sat with a man, and my younger son, Isaiah, came with me, and with your wife, and John and Luke were in front of us, and first of all, great atmosphere. The people that showed up were treated to a gorgeous game. Of course, I'm saying that after the fact. At the beginning, going down 2-0 in less than 15 minutes was not pretty. But I appreciate the fact that the people showed up for the team. OCB played beautiful football. They were resilient. They came back. They came back from a deficit. I was able to see for the first time in my life a live Olympico from Gustavo Caraballo. Why he's not having first team minutes? Exactly. I know that's the question that you had in your mind. And last, I saw something that I'd never seen in football. Inter Miami lost two goalkeepers to head injuries and ended up pulling out Rodrigo Schlegel. This time, not with great results. But my invitation is please make it to OCB games. I think they're a lot of fun. These guys need the support, and then on top of that, if you're a season ticket holder, you got no excuse. Tickets are free. So during the game, we had. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. I thought you were gonna say something.
No, I was getting ready. I thought you were done. I was getting ready to take a breath and talk.
No, no. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
The sad thing about the game yesterday is it should have never been in the extra time. I mean, on one play, we had two shots without a keeper in net. Hit them right at the defender that was guarding the line. Put that to one side or the other 2 feet. It's a goal. And then in the second half, I can't remember his name, the draft pick forward that we have, dribbled around the keeper and missed a wide open, keeperless net.
Harvey Saragin.
What?
Harvey, the Saracen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Hardy.
I think he hit the post. Wasn't that the one?
Yeah, technically was
Oh,
not a shot on target because it hit the outside of the netting.
the wide open one, the one that was where he got past the goalie and it was just
Yeah,
him and
got it. And
him
all you
in the
needed
net.
to do was pass it to the
Him-
far post, and it was probably going to be in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I mean, it should have been, things being the same, it should have been, 3-2 at half, and no worse than 5-4 at the end of regulation. But I mean, yeah, the thing too is why is Caraballo not getting the start on OCB? The dude comes in and is absolutely electric every time. You look at what Ellis did. What the showing Ellis put on yesterday, especially in the first 60 minutes, was he should be getting first team minutes.
Sukada, another guy that impressed yesterday. Why
That was
why did you guys
Sukada.
not see first team minutes? Nobody.
Luke Skyleau,
Oh, he's-
looked good yesterday, except he missed a sitter in the box and didn't even put it on frame. But we won't talk about that either.
No, we won't
Um,
talk about that. But you did insult him before he scored the goal, so I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, because
I'm
he
gonna
missed,
call you
he
out
missed
on that one.
He missed a sitter and then he missed one like 30 yards wide
Yeah.
before he put the curler in. But no, it was a very fun night. It was cool that they let everybody they let people go to the wall for the penalties.
That's right.
You
We
know,
had a
great.
second running of the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it helps when the opposing goalkeepers probably 5'7" at the tallest it looked like.
He looked about
Um,
5'3".
What's that?
He said he looked about 5'3".
Yeah, that's what I mean. He 5'7" at the
I
best.
felt
I
bad
don't
for the
know.
guy when he was by the wall.
Goalkeeper took him.
What were you gonna say, Ahmed?
No, I said I felt bad for him at the end because he
I
was
really
trying his
did.
best, but
I
it is what it is.
It was a
It was
valiant effort,
Yeah, he was trying his best, man. I mean, that's why people were like getting on his case. I'm like, look, man, the guy's not a trained goalkeeper. He just went out there and did his best. I really felt bad for the kid. I think his family was there too. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, at that point, I was looking at it like a dad rather than a rabid savage of the terraces. But
No,
yeah,
losers lose. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Ah, we won, so that was great. But again, to the fan base, it's awesome. It was a very intimate atmosphere, and everybody was just getting along. I think that's the beauty of the OCB games. Everybody's there, talking and enjoying the game. So yeah, fantastic result. Now, while we were there, to do the segue, while we were there, our friend David, who was sitting in the row in front of us, stands up and goes, "Tom Bogert just tweeted that Riesling is coming in July." And I said, "What?" And my friends, that ran like gasoline on top of a fire pit. And at the time, we were down 4-1. So all of a sudden, we like completely forgot about the mayhem that we were watching. And let me tell you something. That was one of the greatest news that we have heard in a while, because a lot of people thought that this was not going to happen. The information that we have is that he's traveling to Orlando this week. We have obviously the international break, so anything can happen at this point. By the way, we were told that Jared Dillon and Ricardo Moreira were sitting among the fans. We can't, we don't know if that's 100%. They were posting pictures that appeared that they were in section 33. If somebody can confirm that, that would be great. I would have loved to be sitting next to those guys when that happened.
I think they were on the opposite side of the field, David.
Oh, they were on the other side of the field.
They were
Okay.
behind the benches, yeah.
Okay, great. So, but anyways, guys, what you guys felt when we heard the news?
Same as everybody else, I feel like. It was something I had, Luke and I talked about it after the fact. This was kind of the first big, like, question mark of Ricardo. Could he get a deal with a big name over the line? It's still not official.
No,
He's flying over here.
Duncan Maguire wore a shirt and he still didn't sign.
Well, that wasn't. It technically got over the line. It was a assistant that hit the wrong button.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just
Yeah. Well, luckily we have like 120 days almost before the transfer window ends. So I think if we mess up on paperwork, we have time to
yeah.
resubmit it.
So,
So it should be one where that goes through smoothly. Getting, he's French, so there shouldn't be much issues, with his visas or anything like that. It's exciting. It's not necessarily going to turn the season around. We still need to get. I think a left back is our next biggest thing to get because nobody's shown that there will. I mean, Taife's shown that he's serviceable there. Late in games. Marin's just, no offense to the dude. I'm sure he's a nice guy and everything, but Marin's not the answer there. We just really need a left back. Somebody that you can just defend, honestly.
somebody that's not one-dimensional.
I wouldn't even put him one
We
dimensional.
literally
Zero
went from like somebody that does something different because we've gone from two left backs that do the exact same thing, just the different nationality.
And one's a little worse than the other.
Yeah, but it's like it's like upgrading from like a Game Boy to there's no difference. Like it's just another.
It's like a Game Boy, going from a Game Boy Color down to a Game Boy.
Yeah, it's just like the same thing. I'm like, there's no difference between the two. One's just Spanish and one's Brazilian. They're the exact same player.
Wait, what are we talking about right now?
Left back.
Left back.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But I saw Zachariah at the game. I said hi to him. I think Zachariah would be a good fit at left back temporarily.
Yeah.
I think he could do a job at left back temporarily. So
I agree.
Because they're not moving Brecalo back to left back.
No, they're not. And I feel like he's young. He's full of energy. He's got it. So he's better than that one-dimensional Spanish person in the back. Right? He's better than also Santos. He's better than anyone. It's a difficult thing, and that's the thing. You get a left back, and I feel like and that's the style of play I think we should try to push for. I'd rather see entertaining risks, than safe, boring football. Right? Let's hope.
I'll have to agree. If you're not gonna win anything by playing it safe, not ifs, maybes, absolutes. That's exactly what we need right now.
Yep. And what's Ricardo always say is he doesn't play it safe in the transfer market. He says it. Let's see him. Actually do it.
Put his money where his mouth is, literally.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, left backs will be out there after the World Cup. That we can get from overseas or from South America.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we can't get a left back. Potentially get another center back. Either a depth piece, just a squad piece, or a starter. Because we don't necessarily know if Jansson's going to be the same.
How did we get on the defenders? I thought we were talking about Griezmann.
We were.
Okay. We just kind of went sideways. Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. But I think it relates because if you're bringing a star like that, do you bring a star to a mess of a team like the one that we have right now?
No.
I mean, changes have
absolutely
to
not.
happen.
But that's why, you know what? Like, I know we started talking about this yesterday. It's like, I think he knows who the coach is going to be.
I don't think he does.
So you think he's coming in blind?
I think he's coming in with the coach that he wants.
Yeah, he's coming in.
No, but that's
he's
what
gonna
I'm
have
trying to.
to
What I'm
play.
trying to say is, regardless if he's coming in with the coach that he wants, or they have a coach that they told him about and he agrees. I'm saying he knows who that coach is going to be, regardless if it's somebody he wants,
yeah.
or if Ricardo
Yeah,
said this
he
is who
won't.
we
He
have.
won't come unless he's got a manager that he
That,
wants.
and that's what I'm saying. I was
Yeah.
telling David that. I'm like, because someone like him, you're not going to get someone like him to come in and be like, we're going to get a great coach. You either give him a
He's
name,
not going to come in with. And I feel like ultimately that's what got the decision over the line. Is
and that's
that
fine. Yep.
is like he's played under Diego Simeone, attacking football.
Yeah.
Played with amazing players, stuff like that, and he probably ultimately looked at the team probably once, unlike us who watch it every week, and looked at it and he says, "I'm not playing under that.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree.
No
And
chance." He's like, "No chance I'm playing under that."
so now it's just a
He
matter of
says
how
it's
long
not
they're
going to
going to
suit
take them
me.
to announce it. How long do you guys think they're going to wait to announce who the coach is? Because
It
they
has
have
to be. It has to be. It has to be within 2 weeks. You cannot.
No,
This is the thing. This is the thing, guys. Real quick, if you keep the fan base
mate.
to their own devices, you're gonna
It's
have
gonna,
what you have right now.
Yeah.
People putting tinfoil hats and predicting all sorts of craziness, and you can't have that. This is the thing. If you have a fan base that is laser focused on the goal that we have set up as a club, right or wrong, we're gonna go like sheep towards towards that direction. But if you right now you have people in uncertainty, then people are gonna, you have people that want tifos for the Wolves to sell the team. You have people that want Ricardo gone. You want people that want a particular players fired. You have people requesting that Oscar comes back, which is insanity to me. You
that's
have all
nuts.
these people doing all these things because they are trying to find either a way to cope with the fact that we may not be a champion this year, or you are finding people that want to find purpose. And I have watched enough football the last 32 years to tell you that sometimes football has to sort itself out, and that's what happens when you fire a manager. It's a traumatic event. It's like telling your kids, "Hey, mommy and daddy are getting divorced," or your dog that is sick is going to a farm in the countryside, but in reality, it's just being put down to sleep. So this is what happens when you fire a manager. This is what happens when you fire a manager. We have to, and by the way, this just doesn't happen in a vacuum. This was a decision that we were told that came down to our management and understanding. I'm sorry, our ownership understanding that keeping the course was not gonna get us anywhere, and they had to see it in the flesh because they were hell bent on keeping the management as it was because they were afraid of the fact that they will have to pay 2 years worth of compensation. Well, guess what? When they saw, I guarantee you, when they saw the numbers of people not renewing the season tickets, when they saw the stadium empty, they saw the social media, when they listen to the content of content creators that cover the club, they're like, hey, we have a ticking time bomb. We have to do something. Right now, to be honest with you, the signing of the manager has to be somebody that is going to get people excited. We've been told this name, that name, the other, whatever. If Antoine Griezmann is going to come here, he's not going to play for Martin Perlman. That's a fact.
Come on, man. You never know.
Listen, I know Alonso was saying that his sources told him that Martin's going to stay till the end of the year. If that's going to happen, let me tell you something. That stadium is going to have the same people in there as at the OCB game. Listen, people love to back a winner, and some of us, love football and will be there, but some people will be like, hey, what do I spend my money on? On losing team, or do I go to Universal with my family for the day? I mean, remember, we live in Orlando, Florida. There's plenty of choices outside of football to go spend your time and money.
I mean, I may not be there, but I'd still be watching on TV. Just a lot cheaper to
Oh
watch
yeah,
from
same
home.
here.
Yeah, I mean, the manager has to be something like what I've heard is that Griezmann was told is he's going to have a say in who's going to pick the manager, or who the manager is going to be. Which is typical for when a big player comes in to a team without a permanent manager. Um, what's the word they use, Luke? We talked about it last week. They use in England for an interim manager,
Caretaker.
It's a caretaker.
Caretaker. Yeah.
caretaker.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Perelman's job is. It's just to make sure the team stays together, the morale doesn't drop too low to make the job a little bit easier on the next guy.
Yeah,
And
he's a caretaker manager. That's all. It's like
Yeah.
it's like I'm trying to think.
like when you go on vacation and somebody watches your house.
No, I'm trying to think of an example of one. I don't want to say Carrick because Carrick wasn't. It was like Ollie at one point. Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer at Man United. He came in and he was the caretaker manager when somebody got sacked. Can't remember at the time. Somebody got sacked at the time. It was Ten Hag, and he came in and he did a job for them, and then he left. Once they found another permanent manager, he left. But then he came back for a second stint, didn't he? After that manager got sacked, and that's what a caretaker manager is. At the time, he's just there to keep the thing afloat. Somebody who's trusted in the identity of what this club's about. That's somebody, whether that's a past player, a coach, or a second team coach, or somebody like that. That's the interim. He's not designed to win titles. He's just designed to be there to prepare the players for what is going to come, whoever that is. He'll probably have an idea. So that's yeah.
We did have on the senior or with the team. We did have several call ups recently announced. This really yesterday. Basically, the guys that are mainly, well, I guess Gusky isn't really mainly on OCB now, but the young guys, Ellis and Gusky were called up for the US U19s. Tahir Reed Brown was called up for the U20s. And then the big one that kind of surprised me was Caraballo was called up for the U20s of Venezuela. Senior team guys, we got 3 of them. Brian Ojeda was called up for Paraguay. Paslic was called up for Croatia, and Crepeau was called up somehow for Canada. So we'll be missing that. They'll be playing internationally for the next 2 weeks. I know we don't talk national team stuff, but Canada's keeper situation, boy oh boy. St. Clair's had a whale of a start, and so has Crepeau.
Man, can we talk about that call, that non-call that they made in that match?
So, and yes, that's fine because I've looked at it a lot. In real time, it 100% looks like it was. I feel if they called it on whatever they called on the field was going to stay, because you can't the lack of angles in this league, not just on this one call, on almost everything that goes to VAR, offside, potential penalties, stuff like that. The lack of angles in this league,
Yeah.
is amazing. But what I was saying is, if there's a better angle on that, I could see it. It's just so, because when it's a keeper handling the ball outside of the box, when it's coming into the box like that, all that ball has to do is it's like a touchdown in American football. It just has to touch that line,
Yeah.
and
that's
you can't tell in the freeze frames that I've seen.
the one that I saw. You could see it in. The thing about it for me is that in our case, he had it in the box. He came out of the box with it, right? This guy came out of the box, grabbed it out of the box. Like there's a you know what I mean? Like at least we know he had it and he tried to get rid of it. He came out of the box to get it. Like he literally did. Like it was just. I'll see if I can find it, but I'll share it with you guys. But it was just when I saw that, I could not believe that they didn't call it. But it is what it is. It's just ironic.
And things won't change until Garber gets out. With no matter what team it is, whether it's Miami or LA or NYCFC, which ironically it went against, or Atlanta. This type of stuff isn't going to change until we get somebody that is in love with the sport and as commissioner. It's just not. And even then, it may not change because we also know that our sport, unfortunately, is one of the most corrupt sports in the world. Adam, your dog trainer, just commented. I'm going to address this because I formerly was a certified referee. The keeper's he said I thought the keeper only needed to have part of his body on the line. I could be wrong. It's the ball. The keeper can be standing 100% outside of the box, and just a molecule of that ball is touching a strand of grass that has white paint on it, indicating the box, and he's handled it properly. So it just has to touch it when he's going into the box. When he's coming out, the ball has to completely go over the line for it to be handling the ball. The keeper's body doesn't have anything to do with it.
It's just it definitely says something though about the stadium for that same thing to happen to two keepers.
Yes.
And that's to David's point. It's like that doesn't happen multiple times in a row if there's something to do with the pitch because they may not be the best keepers, but I'm pretty sure they're decent enough that should not be happening in both their cases. So yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely strange. That's definitely strange.
Yeah.
Maybe my dad, because my dad was certified at the same time I was. If my dad knows when that changed, please comment. I'm not sure when the rule changed. Adam said that the rule must have changed since he played in the 90s, that he was a D1 keeper. I was certified from basically when I was in high school, so it's been 20 years. But yeah, I know specifically because I did play keeper for a little bit in high school. That it all had to do with the ball, and from refereeing. Could be completely wrong. Could be misremembering. I'm only human. But if somebody else knows, if somebody else has been certified or that's played more recently, played keeper more recently, or even Luke, if you know, because you've been involved in the game at a coaching aspect for more recently.
I'm not sure about that rule specifically.
Typical center back. They make a mistake, it's always the keeper's, or they make a mistake, it's the keeper's fault. But
it is the keeper's fault.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it happens basically 2 games in a row, 2 different keepers, similar situations, and it's not the first time that this has happened. It has happened. I can think of 5 times in the last 11 years, because that stadium, the dimensions of the pitch, also the fact that on one side, I don't know if you guys noticed that one side, the side towards the camera, doesn't have like stands there, so it's difficult for the players to understand that that's the end of the pitch. So what I have to say about that situation is the league knew this was going to be a problem. They let that ride for 11 years, and thank God this is the last year that we'll have to contend with that. So, not much to say about that.
Okay.
Trying to do a little research in the background here.
Yeah.
What else we got, guys? What else we got?
Well, just the long wait for Orlando City. What's going to happen in this next 2 weeks? is something that we need to think about. One thing though, I had told people that we needed 10 points by the end of March in order to make sure that we were gonna be a contender for at least the playing game. I take that back. I did not factor in the fact that the next 2 weeks we are off. So I will say this. At this point, forget about the history of the club. Forget about all the numbers and all the crap that we always say. We need this many points, whatever. At this point, we need to survive long enough for a new manager and new players to come in. And tonight has been awesome. If you have been watching this, you see me struggle today. Uh, and, uh, and at the end of the day, that's basically what it's gonna be. We're gonna need a lot of resilience, and we're gonna need a lot of patience, which I don't think people have.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, Adam, and everybody else listening, I found a post from IFAB in 2024. I was actually incorrect. Adam, you were correct, and in that case, 100% a handball. It says here, offense, no offense. The relevant point is where exactly the goalkeeper's hand is in contact with the ball, or if that contact is outside the penalty area. As we all know, it's a direct free kick. Even if the ball is not entirely outside the penalty area, the position of the goalkeeper's feet is irrelevant. So to me, with what that says, 100% a. I don't necessarily know if it would have been a red card because the defender was in front of the New York player, but
At the very least, it would have been a free kick. Maybe a yellow.
yeah, it has to do with the keeper's body, hand, your arm, whatever it is, where it makes contact, not the ball. So I do
Listen, the league
apologize.
doesn't hide the fact that they favor this one particular team because we have said it before. When you have a team that has a financial entanglement with the league, things like this are gonna get murky. They said, oh, this season our goal is to get to Club World Cup. It's not gonna happen. Thank you, Nashville. Football one. But that's how it is, people. That's how it is. I think personally, as Orlando City, we shouldn't worry about anybody else because we got plenty of problems in house that we need to address. I think right now it's very difficult and very uphill just to make the playoffs. If you ask me personally, I think we should put all our eggs on the Open Cup basket. It's winnable. And especially if we are getting a talented player like Griezmann coming in, and through the Open Cup, not only do we go back to champions, we collect another trophy, and then try again next year for playoffs. I just honestly, I just don't think that a team that gets in a play-in is gonna make a lot of noise. Not everybody is Atlanta United with with Rob Valentino, which by the way we made. I have said this many times. I'm a firm believer that in 2024 we made that conference final because Atlanta did dirty work for us by eliminating Miami. And how did we took care of that opportunity? We laid an egg against a Red Bulls that went on to miss the playoffs the following year.
We will never have ever a better opportunity like that again. Never.
Absolutely.
At
So
home against the lowest seeded team. I think they were the lowest seeded team at the time. Were they?
to advance to the round
Or
of
seventh, I think.
32.
Yeah. To get into the MLS Cup final, and we absolutely. Yeah, I can't say it. I can't say it. We're not swearing on this show.
So real quick to go back to the rolling. The reason I was bringing up the red card, and the only way it would be a red card for handling a keeper handling, generally it's just a yellow card. The reason Crepose was a red card is it was a denial of a goal scoring opportunity, also known as Dogzo, which is why he was given the red card, which is why I said I didn't think that
Miami's.
Miami's keeper would have gotten it because the defender was in front of the New York player. And then my dad said about the keepers handling it outside of the box when I saw our red card. It looked to me as though the keeper was not looking at the line but measuring by steps, what he has done hundreds, probably thousands of times. When I talked to him after the game, I agreed with him. You know, a lot of what you do in sport is based on what your um, habits are. You know, playing a specific position, especially one that has kind of set boundaries like soccer does. Like, how many times do you watch a basketball game? You see a guy step out and his foot's barely on the line um, in a basketball game for a 3-pointer, and it's just something was a little bit off. But for the fact, the fact that it happens 2 weeks in a row is just weird.
That's what I'm saying. That should call somebody's attention to it. I mean, give me a break. You would
Well,
think.
now we're rounding things up. As you guys know, we have 2 weeks off. Our next game is going to be against LAFC on the 4th. We obviously will be here next Monday to talk about that. You know, if you thought Nashville was going to be a tough battle, LAFC is going to be monumental. But if it was easy, everybody will do it, right? You know, the football seasons are peaks and valleys, and definitely we're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon right now. But I like I said, I expect some good news coming up, and I also expect us to turn our fortunes. In football, there's never and forever and always. That doesn't exist. I've seen teams. If you remember, in 2016, it was. No, I'm sorry. In 2017, Seattle had the same situation. They fired a longtime manager. They were at the bottom of the league. They hired the right manager. They won the MLS Cup that year. So if it has happened before, and I asked the question, why not us and why not now? So this is a good opportunity for us to galvanize ourselves and understand that sometimes things are gonna happen. Crap happens. Look, there's teams that had won the MLS. There's teams that have won the Supporter Shield, and they're doing worse than us. They're doing worse than us. They don't have a Griezmann coming down. They don't have the possibility of changing managers. They're still with managers that they don't want, and the fan base flat out says fire this guy, and they have no out. So I just you need to lean to your best buddy, and Orlando City, and just try your best to stay afloat. It's difficult as a podcaster to come and do a show where there's nothing positive to talk about, and but at the same time, let's stay unified, let's stay together, and who knows, maybe next Monday we come with the greatest news ever, and we play
we
Eye of
won?
the Tiger, right? We play Eye of the Tiger, and here we go. So I
To
don't know.
keep it
I
positive,
guess final words for everybody, right?
to keep it positive, that's complete sarcasm, by the way. Um, we've never beaten LAFC.
Wouldn't this be
Well,
the?
in
Wouldn't that
MLS
be
is
the?
back. In
On penalty, sorry.
penalties, yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
theoretically, in a 90-minute game, we've never beaten LAFC. We beat them on penalties in the
By the
MLS
way,
tournament in the
do you
COVID.
guys remember who scored that goal in MLS is back?
I don't want to cheat because I don't know, but I've got it pulled up.
Joao Moutinho.
I remember specifically that game, LAFC coming in with a lot of hype.
Bradley Wright.
And it was almost like, because that was right when we got Ruan, and Moutinho was brand new too.
Was it Nani? Nani was like that was.
No,
Oh,
Nani was the assist. And
Nani was the
and
assist.
yeah.
and a quick story about that. If you go back, you can always go back to the highlights. They come together and they give each other this hug that I can only say is the hug of brotherhood. Two guys sporting Lisbon Academy products. João Moutinho had said in an interview 2 weeks prior that when he was growing up, he had Nani's poster in his room, and here's this guy at the death of a game scoring the equalizer with an assist from his hero. And I remember that classic calmado, calmado, that he was doing, calm down, calm down. Gorgeous. Joao Moutinho, wherever you are, God bless you. It was a great night. And then also that same game gave us that beautiful meme of Nani going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because Nani missed a penalty that could have given us the win. I don't know if you guys remember about that. So it was,
Here's the name for you. Let's bring Joe Moutinho back. I liked him. I was upset when he left.
yeah,
He's such a good
yeah.
injury.
What is Joao Moutinho doing nowadays?
I've just searched him up. He's playing in. I literally just searched him up. Where is he playing? In Poland. Is that
Poland.
He's in a random Polish club?
Wow, that's incredible.
Is
By
that
the way, he was the first pick of the expansion draft by LAFC. Nonetheless, he was there for 2 years.
He was a random Polish. He's at a random Polish team nowadays. Still out. I'm still mad about Nani. Just imagine where we would be if we didn't piss him off. Like we would have had an MLS Cup by now if we didn't piss him off.
I believe Nani wanted to stay. The club wanted to move away from him. There's a listener and fan that was a physical therapist for Nani at the time, and she told me I met with her at one of the games, and she was telling me that Nani wanted to stay. In fact, last thing I heard, Nani still own a house in Claremont. I don't know if he still does. And Nani has been back at the team for practice in between teams. Before he went to Australia, before he went to, I think he was in Turkey after that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I even played in Kazakhstan. I mean, the guy was like all over
Nani's
the
been
place.
around.
Nani has been around.
Nani has gone. He's done his world tour.
Yeah, remember
Absolutely.
last summer he showed up to a training and there was the rumor that he was going to be. People were trying to say he was joining back with the team.
Yeah.
I'll take Nani as a super sub for a minimal fee. I'll take it. I believe that guy has 10 minutes in him for every game, but that's just me. But I mean, we're just romanticizing a thing of the past.
Living in the past.
Yeah,
I'm the. But you know what's funny? This is it kind of matches up. I know when we're romanticizing about the past a little bit, but this kind of sums up. This kind of is a full circle moment in the podcast when we were talking about the owners, right? Because that's when the owners first came in. That's when that was the impression that they let off, is that we had this guy who was so committed to the club. Then they came in July, just after was it not the MLS's back tournament necessarily, but it was the All-Star game. Or was
yeah. I
it
believe that the
was
team
it
was
back to
sold
the
in
All-Star
2021, if I'm not mistaken.
what?
I believe the team was sold in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. That was Nani's last year. Nani was
Yeah,
here.
so it was off the back
2021.
of the MLS All-Star game, wherever that was at the time, and Nani was playing there, and quick story time for everyone. I didn't know if you wanted a story time, but I remember it. It was like he was off, and then he came back after the All-Star game, and he was never the same after that. It's almost like his brain was he left the team. Mentally he left the scene, and we could have went on to do magical things that season. Went on to win the MLS Cup. I genuinely believed that Nani was that individually brilliant, and he made everyone around him brilliant, that we would have went off and won that league that year.
Yeah, well,
Except,
and the same thing happened with Mueller too that summer, because that's when we didn't give him a contract and
Yeah,
he signed a
yeah.
pre-contract with the team in Scotland.
Yeah, with Hibernian.
Exactly right. And that was down to the ownership telling him, "You're not in our plans. We're not giving you a contract." And he left mentally. He was still there, obviously, and he still did all right. But he
That
was
bite
he
was
was
gone.
he was his mind was gone. He was. I'll never forgive them for that. That was just amateur hour in football. You never tell a player that you'll never a player of that caliber, a player of that effect in your team that you're never going that you're not in the plans.
Or and like I told you when we were talking about it, I don't know, last year, whenever we were talking about it,
It always brings up.
it
So
comes up quite a bit. But it's, you know, pretty common in American sports, especially basketball and American football, for if a player's contract isn't going to be extended or, um, renewed, whatever, that they tell them in advance rather than making them hold off until the end of the season, which we know in our sport, it's pretty hush hush unless you sign them back. You basically try to sign them back until you can't, or kind of like what happened with Arujo, we just don't do anything because he wanted to leave anyway. Which I know Nani was a little different situation where he wanted to stay, but um, if we don't sell Nani, we never get Facundo. What that's whatever that's
Yeah, there's
worth.
a lot of what ifs and what would have happened.
yeah, I was just saying Nani was that good.
But yeah,
You know,
I
you know what it
agree
is,
with you.
Luke?
There was definitely such a big difference between him, the first half of the season to the second half, where it was just like he didn't quite have the intensity that he had.
Yeah, because he had already been told that he wasn't in the plans, and
Yeah,
I think a lot of us always, a lot of us still remember him fondly because we are missing that guy that says, "Come on, let's go to war."
Yeah,
You know what
that
I mean?
guy who that leader, that guy who makes we I can't remember a player, John and David, where he makes everyone around him better. We've never had a player like that. Kaká never did that. He made everyone around him freaking worse.
Well, he played with a worse roster, but Nani could score with both feet. Nani was a phenomenal player,
He's the
and
reason why DK is who he is. He made
absolutely,
DK
absolutely.
look brilliant. And DK was brilliant. I'm not lying to you, but he had a world class player playing with him, and he was an athlete. That's another thing. Is Nani's an athlete?
Absolutely. I mean, have you seen that guy? I mean, that guy is it's gonna be 40 years old this year, and he looks like a Greek god. It's
Nani.
insane. Yeah,
Yeah, that
Nani's gonna be
yeah
40 years old this year in
that
November,
brother.
and the guy looks like a specimen. So enough said. Ho- Hopefully, Ahmed can come back so we can close it. But I think we have said everything that needed to be said. Uh, Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the 40 plus people that watched us tonight live. Thank you to the people that are gonna watch this later, and thank you to the people who are gonna listen to this. Remember, we can be found wherever you listen to your audio. Uh, if this was the first time, I apologize for the madness on my end. But hopefully you have enjoyed the show. I see a comment saying we need to get DK back. I actually told Ahmed that last night that I would take DK back if because it looks like his team is looking at campaigning League One next year. So, if that's the case, we can make him an offer. If the guy stays healthy, he's gonna be deadly in MLS. So we'll see. Yeah, like a battle contract. I mean, we could definitely do that. That's it. Thank you very much, everybody. Keep in contact with our social media, and we'll be here next Monday again. Guys, final word.
Name the coach.
All right. Wait, you've stolen mine.
Just everybody remember we do have extra time. Feedback on it's been great so far. Comes out. We record it directly after the show. Me, Luke, whoever else from the show can be on. David's joined us a couple times. David G from LPO's joined us a couple times. Um, just kind of further analysis, a little more in depth analysis. Um, kind of unlimited. We're really kind of unlimited on time. I think our longest one's a little over 2 hours. Our shortest one's just over an hour. We're going to be recording episode 9 tonight, and I enjoy doing it. Luke, I know Luke told me he enjoys doing it, or at least he says he enjoys doing it anyway.
Hey, hey, I enjoy it.
But yeah, it's just mainly banter between Luke and I, bouncing things off of each other. We dive a little deeper into the tactics side of things. Dive a little deeper into specific players, what they did wrong, did right. We have a lot of fun doing it. So I'd make sure to catch that on Wednesdays. I'll try to get that up sometime during Wednesday, whenever life permits. Same with the audio. Try to do it first thing Wednesday morning. Sometimes I always plan to schedule it, the video to be up on YouTube. I plan to do it on Tuesday, and then it ends up slipping my mind, and then it gets to be like 10 a.m. on Wednesday afternoon. And I'm like, or Wednesday morning, I'm like, I never uploaded extra time, and then I upload it. So bear with us on that, but we have a lot of fun doing it. So just tune into that, leave your comments and everything. Let us know what we got wrong.
All right, Luke. I know I took your line. Is there anything else you want to say?
Kick towards the wall in the second half. That's what he's going to say.
Oh no! Yes.
Okay, wait. That's
Yes!
that's an extra time segment. That in itself.
No,
needs
it's
to
not. I
be-
still need to say it. Please kick towards the wall in the second half. I'm sick of it. It happened at OCB. It happened at OCB. It's in our DNA.
Oh my God.
That you guys
Maybe the
learned.
new manager will do it, man.
Everyone's gonna get me a T-shirt that says "Kick towards the wall."
Look back at where you guys, because David and Ahmed were right behind us, and I couldn't see you guys because you guys were behind the
Railing.
bar that's back
Yeah.
there, whatever. I couldn't see you guys because I wanted to see if you guys were peering over, seeing what Luke did.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
God.
It's like that is our DNA. Us not kicking towards the wall in the second half. That's our DNA apparently. We're very consistent at that. We're not consistent at anything else. Anyways, we're gonna leave that. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up.
Oh my gosh. All right. So with that said, we're gonna leave you the only way we know how, reminding you that football is played on grass, not on paper, that football is cruel and unpredictable. Football is a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. And if you have not cried for joy or anger over football, have you ever really footballed? For the whole crew, Misael included, and OCB, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!